of the intro music up a little bit there, and it sounded a bit distorted to me, so we'll have to see how it sounds on the final recording. Maybe I'll regress it. Anyway, hi everyone, welcome back. It's the Madhouse podcast, Madhouse UK, as it were, and a few things to talk about today. First of all, this is the first one of my intended daily podcast. Now, when I say daily, they won't be every day, but I'd like to think 5 days out of 7, something like that, is what I'll try and achieve. It really does depend on whether I can come up with the content and make it interesting, keep it kind of fresh, but we'll see how that goes. Lots to talk about today, actually. First of all, apologies that the turn is a week late. Now, it's rare that I have to do that. Those players will know that I've had a family tragedy and that's taken up all my time, so sorry, but thank you everybody so much for your kind words and the nice things that you've said and your understanding. We're back on track now. A game should run safely tomorrow night and we'll be back onto our normal schedule thereafter. And hopefully that includes the podcast, which, let's see if we can do it. It should be interesting. So what have I got to talk about today? First of all, 5 new areas. So players will regularly know that a few times a year I release 5 new adventuring areas with a bit of a plotline attached to them that you can start new characters in or move existing characters to. Just keep the game fresh, keep things developing, keep things growing. Next turn will be my 5 new areas, which I intend to release for December, which will coincide with the beginning of our Christmas offers. I don't know what they're going to be yet, still thinking about it. Also, what else have I got? Oh yeah, 2 of the new areas will be the player designed dungeons that I've talked about in the past. I said I'd release them next time we did new areas, and I'm going to. One of those is specifically for the Sylvan Alliance Guild. The other one is open to anyone. It's quite a mini dungeon, but was designed by Terry Leggio. I think Leggio. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce Terry's surname, but thank you, Terry. Well, hopefully you'll like it and see that that's good fun. And there will be 3 other brand new areas, which I'm not going to tell you anything about now because I've got to keep that content fresh. So we do have some other interesting in-game news though. So first of all, news from the Empire of Kia, which players will know is off to the kind of northwest of Bereny. Bereny is a big kingdom, but there's a pass, a big open bit of land that's neutral land that runs between Bereny and Kia. Kia is a desert kingdom. It's got a very eastern flavour to it, and there has been conflict between Bereny and Kia in the past, but that has mostly been done away with and a reasonable truce sought for a number of years now. But things are getting a little bit more tricky because the Emperor of Kia has recently passed away. And the new Empress, who is actually a 13-year-old, her name is Serena El Jacindi, and she's one of the descendants of the ancient line. She's going to be significantly different to the previous ruler. And the reason she's going to be difficult is because she's cut from much more of a small c conservative mould. She believes in their ancient texts and in their ancient maps and geography, which suggest that they own more land than they currently have control of. This has always been a matter of dispute between Bereny and Kia. The borderlands are always tended to be where it clashes, and that's why they've been neutral for so long. Well, she wants to reopen discussions, that's how she puts it, reopen discussions with the Berenian crown in regards to that neutral land between Bereny and Kia. And she thinks that Kia should own it, and she would like to discuss how that can come about. So that will be up to the new king to decide what to do. And interesting, isn't it? Because the new king has got a lot of problems. The new king is facing still an uprising of Red Knights. Now the army has significantly put down most of the flashpoints of trouble from the Red Knights, but they haven't gone away. They're still around in pockets, and they still are a reasonable force in at least one city. So they're not completely destroyed yet, and we still don't know what their origins are, who is in control of them, what their agenda is. There is still rebel uprisings around the kingdom based on a number of different political differences between them and the crown or them and their local area. And it's just a troublesome time. There's even rumblings from the goblins in the north in the Great Forest and rumblings from the south where the glacier is. And the people of the glacier have been friendly towards the kingdom for some time, but the friendship seems to have cooled a little, no pun intended. And so perhaps there is even problems from that line. We'll have to wait and see. But it all means that the new Empress has chosen a dangerous time to begin questioning the borders and how will the king respond. When the king was challenged by the Raven over the control of the city of Poldoon, the king has done nothing. And the Raven has now cemented, it seems, in law, the ownership of a city in the middle of Bereny, which is completely a solo province. Now, perhaps there's still some response to do, but at the moment the Crown seems to be playing it cool, and its allies are saying things like, clearly the Raven thought he was more important than he was, I think was one of the comments that made, and maybe they're right. But it's interesting that without a challenge, Raven is now declaring, okay, they must agree with me. And who knows where that's going to go. So in regards to the Raven of Poldoon, he's asked for all members of the Poldoon Border Scouts to repledge their allegiance in the wake of the new status of Poldoon as a sovereign city. Now, the Poldoon Border Scouts were a group of, like a small militia that the Raven sponsored in order to protect the borders between Bereny and Kier. Interesting, right? Because those scouts are under the control of Raven. He's asking them to repledge allegiance because maybe some members will feel differently now that Poldoon is a solo city, a sovereign city. Maybe they won't. That's up for them to say. But how is the Raven going to respond to this threat on the border not too far from Poldoon, actually? Is he going to side with the king? Is he going to and defend the border with the Border Scouts alongside the army? Or is he going to take a different approach? That is a challenge to know, isn't it? We don't know quite where that's going to go. So I think it's interesting. Hope you think it's interesting. In regards to the Border Scouts, they've got a new fort. Their leader, a real player, Paul Malone, he's successfully fought for some time for the fort to be opened up as a base of operations for them. I'm doing that at the moment, and it will be finished. You'll be able to, as of next term, be able to go and explore it. It's just about done. It's not a lot needed to be done really because it already existed. But I've made a few changes, and I've made a slightly quicker route of travel to get to it. So should be good. Hope you'll like it. Anyway, Paul will no doubt want another million things because he's a demanding fellow, and fair play to him because he runs a guild and expects to get the best for his guild members, and why shouldn't he? So Paul, I'm sure I'll be hearing from you soon. What else have we got? This Sunday, I did say a little while ago that we would start doing chat rooms again. So the Dungeonworld chat room, anybody who wants to join in the Dungeonworld chat room, the link is on our website, which is in the information on the bottom of this podcast. So you can go to the chat room, log in and take part in our regular chats. They're going to be happening once a week, I hope. The first one happens this Sunday at 7 p.m. About an hour it's going to last. We're going to be mostly talking out of character about the ongoing state of the game, the grand plot, where things are going. I'll perhaps drop a few hints in the usual way, have a bit of fun, not telling you too much, but letting a few people know a few things, and getting some feedback from you as to what could change and what could be better and what we can do going forwards. About an hour we'll chat, and then I might even live record it and then comment on it on a blog post. We'll see how that goes. We're trying to sort of tie it all together, make it all a cohesive and entertaining medium. So that's pretty much everything for today. Not too much more to say, except that please do like this video, leave a comment, always subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and ring the magic bell. Because if you don't ring the magic bell, how do I summon my genie? And without my genie, how can I get all the wishes that you all want in the game? Talk to you soon. Bye.